Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another discussion video with me and Dean from Darts News Channel.
Hello, everybody.
Right, we have a few things to discuss. Obviously, the Premier League is about to start tomorrow, so that'll be a main discussion. But first, I'm just going to have a little recap over last weekend, which was the Masters, of course.
Yeah, some great darts, actually. Some pretty interesting storylines, actually. Some interesting to see James Wade, Peter Wright, and I think in particular Dave Chisnall really put in some great stuff. Obviously, Peter Wright, who crashed out early at the Worlds, Tony Alcinas, and Chisnall, who, despite I thought had a very good year, he wasn't on too many people's radars. But of course, as the people who would have watched our previous video would have seen, MVG was just far too good for everyone else, wasn't he?
Yeah, he never looked like he was losing that tournament. He just cruised through it. You know, it was his closest game was what against Chizzy there, 11-7.
Yeah, and Chizzy was never in that match.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
He was always chasing, and he managed to get to 7 legs only really because MVG missed a host of doubles at the end.
Yeah.
So as usual, MVG lays down a marker for the rest of the year, and I'd be pretty scared. Well, not if I was Michael Smith, I wouldn't be that scared given how good he is. But MVG's looking pretty good, and I struggle to see him lose tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat, although as to the quality, I think it's the first Masters ever where there's been more averages below 90 than there has been above 100.
That's interesting. I mean, I guess the Stephen Bunting, Darren Webster match in particular was a painful watch actually. Bunting, he held his nerve at the end with that nice 86 check on the ball to win, but that was there was a lot of sort of negative comments around on social media about that match. I mean, even
the crowd were giving Gerwin Price a hard time.
Yeah, as we expected. Gerwin Price, despite I think we predicted a Gerwin Price 10-7 win, and obviously James Wade won that one 10-7, but Price was never in that match either.
Yeah. Well, that's an odd one because James Wade is a true James Wade performance there. He won exactly. 8 points in deficit on the averages.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's so James Wade.
Yeah, and then he waved it through.
You know, he was James Wade throughout the tournament, wasn't he? 95 average to beat Cullen.
Exactly.
94 average to beat Wright, and
he did what he needed to do to get through, but yeah, MVG too good for him in the end.
Yeah, which was to be expected. I think given MVG being steady with a ton throughout the tournament, MVG would have needed to have brought his average down quite a few points.
Yeah, but after a good start from Mensah, I was surprised he didn't kick on, but you know,
he played some good stuff in that match. You know, he had a nice 167 check, but MVG, as you know, the guy just
it's hard to play him.
Yeah, it is. He's in a world of his own.
When he starts messing about hitting two balls eyes to leave things, and it's just so difficult to play.
Yeah. Well, I think that's our little conclusion of the Masters. As we've seen, MVG really is going to be the man to beat this season. But yeah, we will now move over to our discussion of the Premier League.
Yep.
And why is there an elephant in the corner of our screens, MK?
Well, the elephant is there to represent the elephant in the room, which is, of course, the change in the format due to the dropout of Gary Anderson. He's been replaced by 9 contenders, which
he certainly has,
are hiding behind the elephant. So here we go.
Yeah, so we're going to start off in Newcastle tomorrow at the Utilitia, I believe it is. I might have botched that.
Yeah, something like that.
In Newcastle with Chris Dobie, and as you can see in the bottom right of the screen, we're going to have Glenn Durrant in Glasgow, Steve Lennon in Dublin, Luke Humphreys in Exeter, Big Hendo in Aberdeen, the Asp taking on Michael Smith in a rematch of the semis of the World Champs in Nottingham, Max Hopp, which I'm really excited for that one. I think Max Hopp takes on Barney in Berlin, and that crowd's going to be absolutely bonkers for that game.
Yeah.
Then we've got the two nights in Rotterdam, which we've got Dimitri van den Berg against Wade on the first one, and this one is going to be unreal this night. We've got Jeffrey Deswan against Rob Cross, and we've also got MVG against RVB on Judgment Night.
Yeah,
so
that is going to be one hell of a night. That is.
It certainly is. But so what do you think of the new format that they've put in?
Well, I think that it's a good idea. The problem is that everybody's complaining about it. Why didn't you put Whitlock in? But what they're forgetting is the Premier League is over 4 months. Maybe Whitlock wasn't available once he wasn't in. Maybe he had exhibition work. Maybe he was visiting Australia. You never know. It's hard to get somebody to commit for four months. So maybe this was one of their best options. And I like the idea, but the only thing I disagree with is the games are being worth points for the main players in the league. I don't think they should be worth points.
Yeah, I think that's the contentious issue. I think we need to remember as well. Last year's Premier League, there was a lot of annoyance, I guess, and people weren't too happy that the same names were being put in the Premier League, and they wanted to see something different. And now that the PDC have done this, they haven't been inventive initially because they've needed Gary Anderson. A Gary Anderson withdrawal has caused them to be a bit more creative. But the fact that it's going to shake it up, I'm struggling. I'm seeing it kind of like a glorified exhibition. So they're going to have these.
I mean, the whole Premier League is an exhibition.
Yeah, for the most part, isn't it? Yeah, it is. But I agree with you on the point side. I'm going to struggle to watch that game with much interest, other than just out of appreciation for the darts, because that it doesn't mean necessarily too much.
That being said, I think the crowd is going to enjoy it more than the people at home, but the crowd enjoying it is what sells tickets.
Yes, it is, and I think I know that that the contenders are only going to be on stage for 20, 25 minutes. But if they hold their own and they put in a good performance, that will be a factor if they have a good 2019 and them getting into the 2020 Premier League, which, as we know, is a big money earner for these players. Like that's some serious, appearance fee each week, massive exposure, bigger chances with sponsorship, and it's a real great opportunity for these guys. So
yeah, especially the younger players, of course, like Glenn and Big Hendo. I mean, they're a bit older, but a lot of the players that are involved are younger, and it's the younger players you want in the Premier League because they're the ones that can do it. Week in, week out, all the travel. I think a lot of the big names are starting to get tired of it. It's hard work.
Yeah, it's hard graft, and we know Phil Taylor would always discuss that. But when you've got your Premier League match on Thursday night, then you've got to go over straight away to either Wigan or Barnsley or even Germany on the Euro Tour. It's a hard grind, and I think people need to.
And the other way around this year. I mean.
Exactly.
It's back and forth and back and forth. And,
exactly. It's not an easy position, but of course, as you can see from the money there, when you've got 250k straight up for the winner, 120 for a runner-up, the rewards outweigh the sacrifice. But I think with no further ado, we will crack on with the predictions for the 5 matches that we've got tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. So we're going to start off with Wade versus RVB. Now, this is unsurprisingly the matchup where they've played each other the most times. They've played each other 51 times in total over the course of their careers.
That's a lot of time.
It's a lot of matches, isn't it? We've got RVB holds the head-to-head lead by 25-22, and there's been 4 draws between the pair. Of course, in the Premier League, the last match they played was at the World Series of Darts finals last year, which Wade obliterated RVB 11-2 in that one.
He was playing really well. That's when he won the back-to-back.
Exactly. Yeah, of course he went on to win that title, didn't he? With Michael Smith blowing the match darts. But before that, 4 of their previous 5 matches had been in the Premier League. which was unsurprisingly a 2-all split between the pair. So in 2017, Wade won both, and in 2016, RVB won both of the matches in the Premier League. It's a very tight one to call. What do you think might happen in this one?
Well, I mean, the favourite's got to go to James Wade because he's been playing well.
Yeah.
Of course, just before Christmas, won the 2 majors. And now he wants to kick on and have a good year. He played well at the Masters. He got to the final.
Yeah.
MVG too much for him, but that's understandable. However, Barney, we haven't seen him since the Worlds. Wonder what he's been up to. It's his last year. He wants to have a good season. And to a certain extent, he needs a good season as well because he needs to defend some prize money for his World Championship seeding, for his last World Championship.
Yeah.
So he's going to really drop off the rankings unless he defends some prize money. So he's going to want this, although this isn't ranked. This is a big game. It's his first competitive PDC game of the year, and
this will give him some momentum, won't it?
Exactly. Especially going into the Players Championship on the weekend.
Yeah, and we've got, of course, the next major, the UK Open at the start of March.
Yeah.
So he's going to want to be on some good form for that, and I don't see him winning this match personally. I've written down 7-5 Wade, which, of course, as we know, can be dependent on the throw for a large part of that. But I see this as a Wade win.
Yeah, I think so. I think 7-5 is fair. Sort of the sort of one breaker throw in there.
Yeah.
Sort of he'll get the time in and just about kick on, but it'll be tight.
Yes, I agree. Cool. Okay, so next up we've got Gerwyn Price against Daryl Gurney, and pretty interestingly actually, so they've played 9 times, and Gerwyn Price leads this current head-to-head by 7 matches to 1, and there's been 1 draw between the pair in last year's Premier League, which there's one of the stats I looked at this morning before we came on, and I was like, how on earth has that happened?
It's shocking. I would have put money on it being the other way round.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
But most of those matches have been on the Pro Tour in Barnsley, and they're always very close. They're always 6-4, 6-5. There's never normally more than 2 legs in it between these two. Yeah. This match I'm actually looking forward to. I think it'll be a fiery affair. Gerwyn Price is going to want to show that he does actually want to be at the Premier League this year after some negative comments that he had last year about it.
Yeah.
Both didn't play that great in the Masters, obviously going out in first round losses to Wade and Chisnell respectively. My pick for this one, despite the head-to-head, I'm going to go with a Gurney win. I think he'll be too good for Gerwyn given the circumstances of the last few months. And I see this as a Daryl Gurney 7-4 win. What do you reckon on this one?
Oh, you see, initially I was thinking a draw, but
Okay.
yeah, if somebody's going to win it, it's probably going to be Gurney. I'm reckon 7-5 or a draw.
I'm definitely swaying towards Gurney, so I think the 7-5 I would have no complaints with.
All right, we'll go for 7-5 in there, but
yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, you go on.
So now, in the third game of the night, it will be Chris Dobey versus Mensur Suljovic. Obviously, the first contender match of the season.
Yeah.
And Mensur Suljovic now playing Chris Dobey instead of Gary Anderson, so he might be smiling.
Yeah.
Mensur had a good first round at the Masters. Didn't quite kick on, but he's playing MVG, so you don't really know how he's going. But Chris Dobey obviously getting an opportunity here, a massive opportunity. He's been very vocal about that on social media, saying, "Yeah, thank you very much to the PDC and Barry Hearn for giving me the opportunity."
Yeah.
And he's really looking forward to it. So he's got no pressure on him.
That's where it's actually a tough call, isn't it? Because this for Dobey is an exhibition.
Yeah.
For a large extent. Obviously, he's going to feel the pressure. I know that he said that he's been to the Premier League at Newcastle quite a few years as a fan, and actually now that he's going to be up there on the centre stage, despite the fact that there is no pressure on him,
Yeah.
I don't believe that, because if he loses 7-0 or 7-1, there'll only be a lot more talk on
Yeah.
the contenders' idea is not a very good one, this and that. Their head-to-head doesn't really speak for anything. They've only met 3 times before. Dobie has won the only one on TV, which was at the World Series of Darts finals in 2017. I do think Mensah will win this, just given,
Yeah.
he's Premier League player. He's been
Yeah,
there,
exactly. He's got the class.
yeah, and it does, of course, it means more to Mensah. He's going to want to start off with a good 2-pointer. So I see this one as like 7-3 or 7-4 to Mensah.
I'll go 7-3.
Yeah.
Chris W gets some legs, but yeah, he's just not got the thing to play for. He's not played on a Premier League stage before. It's a lot bigger than anything else he's ever played on.
Yeah, exactly. They will never have played in front of crowds this big.
Exactly. So, but we will live and learn, maybe.
Exactly. It's going to be very interesting to watch. That's for definite.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we've got a repeat of our World Championship final between Mighty Mike and the Bully Boy. They've met 32 times before, and it is the Green Machine MVG who leads this current head-to-head by 26-6. And last year, of course, they met in the Premier League final, and MVG beat Smith comfortably in that one. He also battered Smith in the round-robin matches 7-1 and 7-2. I think this is going to be probably the game of the night.
Yeah, Michael Smith wants to prove he can hold his own. He's getting better and better, and it's only a matter of time until he gets the upset. MVG is a strong favourite, of course.
Yeah.
With Smith back on, probably 4-1, but he's it could happen. I think it's one of those things. It's going to be either a complete battering or it's going to be really close.
Yeah, Smith won't batter MVG, I don't think. Just given Smith.
No, I meant the other way around, but either.
Of course. But MVG, as he showed at the Masters, he's in some great nick. Whereas Smith looked just a little bit flat, I thought, against Peter Wright in the quarters.
Yeah.
So I personally think MVG will take this one sort of 7-4. I think Smith will get more legs than he did last year. I think he's a better player than he was last year.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't see MVG dropping any points here.
Yeah, I'm happy with 7-4.
But that's definitely the game of the night. It tends to be whichever match they put on fourth normally tends to be the one that they think is going to be the best one, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's sort of the climax of the evening, and then you've got one on afterwards, and a few people tend to leave the Premier League a little bit early. People would work the next day,
Exactly. So that one is between Peter Wright and Rob Cross, and these guys have met 13 times before. Cross just edges this head-to-head by 7-5. There's been one draw, and most recently, actually, which was at the Champions League last year, Peter Wright thumped Rob Cross 10-3. But Cross did the previous 3 matches before that.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a bit of history in last year's Premier League. There was one draw, one tight Rob Cross win, and I think this match is going to be a really solid game. I think it's going to be pretty close. Who do you think is going to win this?
I'm looking at the draw for this one. I think.
Okay.
It is dead close. It's really hard to split it. It's one of those things. If one of them gets a breaker throw, they know it's gonna be a tight game, and they might get nervous and they break straight back. Or it could just be 12 straight holds a throw. I can't see either of them kicking on. I don't think either of them is in good enough form to kick on to maintain a lead.
I wrote down a draw as well.
Oh, there you go.
So, I mean, I can't split these two guys.
Yeah,
on current form, or on the whole package of the last few months. And as we know, there tends to always be at least one draw in Premier League action. Um, so that one seems the. Don't get me wrong. I think James Wade and RVB and Go and Price and Daryl Gurney could easily also be draws, but
oh yeah,
just logically, the Peter Wright Rob Cross game for me was the one that I was thinking was going to be a draw.
yeah. That is the most likely. The second most likely is the Price Gurney game.
It certainly is.
So
I think that concludes our predictions of this evening's tomorrow evening's games. Next week we will be in Glasgow with the BDO World Champ Glenn Durrant as the contender taking on Daryl Gurney in what's set to be a game that I think we're both very much looking forward to.
yeah, definitely. It's see how it does. Of course, Glenn will be fresh off his first Players Championship weekend, which is this weekend. So he'll get his feet in the waters of the PDC, so to speak, and then straight up onto the big stage. Even he's surprised at that.
I agree. I think they've done the right thing getting him in there, just because he is who he is.
Yeah.
And he's gonna, people want to watch him.
He's a household name.
He is a household name. You win a world championship 3 times back to back, and any darts fan knows who he is.
Of course,
right?
I mean the whole thing is Barry Hearn's travelling exhibition. It's having somebody like Glenn Durrant up there. It sells tickets, gets people to watch TV. Everybody's happy.
Certainly does. So I think we will be back. We're going to do another video this time next week, aren't we? Covering the Glasgow matches. And just to say, for anyone who's watched it today, thank you very much. And make sure you go and follow and like us on our respective social media channels, as you can see up above the screen. And we will see you in the next video.
Yeah. Have a good one, folks.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.